this weekend, The Babysitter Killer Queen, a sequel to the 2017 film The Babysitter, drops on Netflix. So let's talk about it. The Babysitter Killer Queen takes place 2 years after the original film and finds Cole once again trying to survive a satanic cult who's trying to kill him. So I thoroughly enjoyed the first film. It was just a pleasant surprise that kind of came out of nowhere, but I was also surprised when they announced a sequel because that movie doesn't exactly end at a place that makes it obvious how you'd have a follow-up to it. So I was very curious as to what this film would be and went in having not seen any trailers for it. Real quick before I give you my take on it, let me know what you thought down below in the comment section, or what did you think about the original film, The Babysitter? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle on it? And let's get started talking about the good. And the best thing about this film is that, like the original, it's just jam-packed with energy from beginning to end. It never really slows down. It never drags. It's never boring. There's always a joke, a kill, a plot twist, an emotional moment, something that's interesting, and it moves pretty quickly through its different beats and tries to entertain the audience from beginning to end. As this is a horror comedy, there is no shortage of over-the-top ultra violence and expanding on what was in the first film of trying to outdo some of the kills and have plenty of just nasty, gory stuff happening that you want from a film like this, where it's kind of played for a little bit of fun even though you're watching something horrific taking place. And then on the comedy side, there's certainly jokes all throughout the film that will put a smile on your face. And once again, like the first film, all of the characters are incredibly lively with big personalities, distinct quirks about them to make them interesting. In fact, our lead character, Cole, is the one that's the most subdued and normal as this person that's going through this world of wacky parents, bullies at school, and then over-the-top death cult members that are trying to kill him. And that's kind of the fun of it, is that everything is kind of hyper reality, cranked up to 11, very stylized, playing into kind of the tropes that you normally see in the genre in a fun way that's designed to put a smile on your face. And there's no shortage of moments where this movie is trying to entertain you, but it doesn't always succeed, so let's move on to the bad. But unfortunately, while this movie superficially hits all the beats that it's supposed to have, it lacks all of the heart of the original film. What made the first one work so well is, at its core, a really good concept that blended plot, premise, themes really well, where you have this kid that's probably a little bit too old to have a babysitter, but his babysitter is every 12-year-old boy's dream, and then it turns out that she's actually a nightmare. And when you put all those plot lines together, it just feels very cohesive, and you can tell a story that's horror, it's comedy, but it's also a coming-of-age story seamlessly. And when you age him up into high school and he doesn't actually have a babysitter, it's just kind of touching all the death cult stuff. It has all the kills, it has all the jokes it's supposed to have, but it just doesn't have the depth. You don't care about the characters as much. None of it is quite as interesting as it was in the first film. Likewise, one of the things I thoroughly enjoyed about the first film was the lack of subtlety, that Mick G's kind of sensibilities and the way that he directs films suited that film really well. And where it felt like a lack of subtlety before, here it feels like a lack of restraint, where he just kind of doubled down on the heavy-handed, stylized elements and just tried to outdo himself, where you have a bunch of moments where it tries to like metaphorically visualize things that are happening with dance numbers and kind of showing these backstories for people that just feels too overcooked, and they're just trying too hard at times. And then there's even like a fight scene between two girls where like power meters appear on the screen, and you can tell what he was going for, but it just feels all trying to force what came naturally in the first film. But ultimately, the biggest problem here is that the film had a Samara Weaving size hole right in the center of it. I mean, she was the namesake of the first film, knocked it out of the park, that she could play the psycho that's trying to kill him, but she was the coolest babysitter that a 12-year-old boy could have. She nailed all of it. She's gone on to have all kinds of success over the last 3 years. She's beloved by horror fans. And so when you remove her as kind of a centerpiece for the film, you feel it. And they didn't have anything to kind of take her place. She was that thing that just heightened the material so well. Did such a great job in the first film that when she's not here, you feel it, and the movie is lacking because of it. Real quick before I give you my take on this one, remember to join me down below in the comments section. Once you see this film, let me know, what did you think about it? Also, if you've only seen the first one, what did you think about the original film, The Babysitter? If you enjoyed this video and want more horror content from me, you can check out this playlist right up here where I've ranked a bunch of the top horror franchises. If you've enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy something up there. In the end, The Babysitter Killer Queen has no shortage of energy, but it fails to capture what truly made the first film work. Overall, it's a C+ on the entertainment scale, a 6 out of 10, and this one is only for fans of the original. If you want more horror content from me, check out that playlist right over there. If you want my review of the original Babysitter, it's right down there. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.